Hello, I'm Robert Gluck. I wanted to talk to you today about Florida's Marchman Act. I've been practicing law here in Florida for 32 years, and we have one of the most powerful laws in Florida that no one else in the country has. Florida's Marchman Act will allow a family member to file a petition and force a loved one into treatment for a drug addiction against their will, without having to wait for them to commit a criminal offense to force them to get treatment. Usually what happens is someone who's addicted to drugs or alcohol ends up out on the street and eventually gets arrested for a crime. The crime is usually committed because they have a drug or alcohol addiction. And then you're left with trying to see about getting them counseling and treatment and help through the criminal case. So the Marchman Act is designed to avoid that. If someone's got a drug addiction and they're endangering themselves, and if they're not able to appreciate the fact that they need treatment, a family member can file a petition within a certain period of time, within 10 days, usually quicker. You have a hearing in front of a judge. The judge determines whether that person is in need of being detoxified, and then they get placed in a detox center, usually for a period of 5 days. At the end of that 5 days, that detox center has to tell the judge whether they think that person is detoxed and whether they're now ready for or in need of residential or ongoing treatment of some kind. Residential, it could be an outpatient program that's being recommended, but the folks that are doing the detoxing are going to then recommend to the judge what the next thing should be. It usually ends up being some sort of residential treatment program. So the court could have power over these folks for 90 days to force them to stay in treatment. If they don't comply and they don't stay in treatment, you have the threat of contempt of court. That means that you can ask the judge to hold the respondent in contempt of court for not complying with the order that they stay in treatment. They could literally be faced with the choice of either sitting in jail for 10 days or going to treatment. Now, none of this involves a criminal case, so you can do this to a family member to save their life without the guilt and the worry that you're going to create a criminal record for them and that you'll help them get detoxed, but then they're never going to be able to find a job because they now have this criminal case. This is not a criminal case. There won't even be any record of it if someone looks it up because it's a mental health case. So this Marchman Act is real powerful. Each county has its own quirks in terms of procedures and how quickly you can get a hearing set in front of a judge, whether the judge will let the folks appear by phone. Now, of course, with COVID, everyone's appearing by phone. But there are a lot of nuances to the Marchman Act. So if you or a loved one are in need of treatment, whether voluntary or involuntary, or you want guidance as to how a Marchman Act should be handled somewhere in the state of Florida, you should call me. If I can't handle your case, I'll refer you to a lawyer that can help you in the county that you're in. You can reach me at 877-GLUCK-LAW, or you could email me. And if you see some value here, you can click the like button, and you could subscribe to my channel if you want to learn more. I have a few more videos about Marchman Acts on my website too. Thank you, and have a good day.